It's Tuesday, February 26th, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. I'm Vernella Wedderburn. One man was fatally shot at London's road, Brittons Hill, this evening. Police Public Relations Officer Inspector Rodney Innes gave a full update at the scene.
About 5:35 this evening, being Tuesday, the 26th of February 2019, the police responded to information received that two men with guns were at this location, London Road, Brittons Hill, St. Michael. Two police units responded to the area, and on arrival at the scene, they saw and were confronted by two individuals armed with what appeared to be firearms. The two men started to run, and the police came under attack, and as a result, the police responded. That man fell to the ground. One of the individuals fell to the ground. The identity of that person is yet to be officially verified. We are still at a sensitive stage of our investigation. As you can see, we still have a lot of units here, and we are trying to control the crowd. One loaded firearm was recovered, and investigations, as I said, are still at a very sensitive stage. We will give another update as soon as more information comes to hand.
The shooting incident came just hours after some of the island's religious leaders were preparing to host another weekend of prayer organized by the National Network of Pastors and Leaders. At this morning's launch at the Restoration Ministries in Brittons Hill, Pastor Aubrey O'Neill of the Wesleyan Holiness Church warned that satanic influences were affecting the country's youth and the church has to speak out. He insists that jail time is not the only solution to fix the problem.
This is not hearsay. We've left our doors, we've gone into the community, and we call it a Jericho walk. We're walking through the community, we are going house to house, and what we are sensing that our children, yes, at early ages, as young as 17 and 18, they are having CDs and DVDs, they're visualizing, and then they're acting out what they visualize. And you know the idea is very important. What people see, they don't forget. And that's where the church has a very pivotal role to play. Whenever you are sensing Satanism increasing in your society, this is no time for gimmicks. Social programs and so on don't change this. The church has to be the volume leader to deal with these forces.
The country's Chief Justice sounds his support for magistrates to be given more power. In fact, Sir Marston Gibson tells Barbados Today, the sooner the better. He was speaking on the sidelines of a mediation ceremony this afternoon at the 3Ws Pavilion of the University of the West Indies. Sir Marston says Barbados must seriously review the treatment of magistrates.
We need to have that conversation about the magistrates. The magistrates do the significant majority of the judicial work in this country. We have 10 magistrates, and annual filings in the magistrates court can be anywhere between 20,000 to 23,000 cases. It's about 2,000 cases per magistrate per year. It can't be done. So we know that we have to have that conversation, but we'll take one step at a time. There are a lot of changes that have been taking place in other jurisdictions with regard to the magistrate.
Clean up your act. The stern message today from the Sanitation Service Authority after one of its workers uncovered a massive illegal dump site along Long Beach Christchurch. Bed, appliances, suitcases, car parts, and even an air conditioning unit were left scattered on the road. Public Relations Officer for the SSA, Carl Alf Padmore, urged Barbadians to stop the practice of illegal dumping. He told Barbados Today the authority mobilized a team of 7, led by Plant Superintendent David Burton, to clean up the area around 9:45. 3 truckloads of garbage were removed from the site. There is another call for government to hike the tax on sweetened beverages. It's coming from Dr. Godfrey Zareb, the Pan-American and World Health Organization representative for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Delivering remarks on Dr. Zareb's behalf on the second day of the Week of Excellence at Solidarity House today, Senior Assistant General Secretary of the Barbados Workers Union, Orlando Scott, warned that if authorities fail to stem the scourge of NCDs, especially diabetes and hypertension, then workers will be too sick to be productive. And in a direct plea to Labour Minister Colin Jordan, the official argued that an increase in the 10% tax on sweetened beverages could help to tackle the issue of NCDs.
I also encourage you, as I know the national estimates are being discussed in Parliament, that the sugar-sweetened beverage tax should be increased to at least the World Health Organization's recommendation of 10%, and Senator, meaning Senator Moore, I encourage you to support this when it comes to the upper house, or even so, start the discussion in the upper house to encourage Parliament to change the tax. A 10% tax has led to a reduction of 4.3% in sales of sugar-sweetened beverages and a 7.5% increase in water consumption. We can do better if the tax is higher.
In sports, West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell is set to make his first international appearance since last August after being named in the squad yesterday for the upcoming 4th and 5th one-day international against England. The 30-year-old has been struggling with a knee problem, and although Chief Selector Courtney Brown admitted his fast bowling may be hampered, he said his lower order hitting could prove crucial. Russell takes the place of Kemar Roach, who was ruled out of the series with a back injury.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back. We head to St. Kitts Nevis, where CARICOM leaders were deliberating on critical regional matters at their 30th intersessional meeting. As the two-day summit got underway this morning, CARICOM chairman and host Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris blasted the European Union for imposing what he called onerous requirements on the Caribbean's financial services sector. He said the continuous demand for new regulations is tantamount to cruel and unusual punishment.
The EU and its member states are going well beyond the regulations and requirements of the OECD, of which they are a part, and with which our countries are largely compliant. Further, the selective application of the strictures does not apply to everyone and has a distinct bias. These unbridled attacks on our sovereignty and disturbing intrusion in our internal affairs hark back to a different era of us having to heed the dictates of our colonial masters who impose mercantile laws that restricted our development scope and space.
In his address, outgoing CARICOM chairman, Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness rallied his counterparts to deepen ties given growing uncertainty in the global environment. Highlighting progress made during his tenure on several regional matters, he urged heads to press ahead.
Where getting off the mark has been slower than anticipated, we must then lengthen our stride. Even if the wicket is sticky, we must face the challenges bravely, with success as our goal.
And further afield, Theresa May has promised MPs a vote on delaying the UK's departure from the EU or ruling out a no-deal Brexit if they reject her deal next month. May made the statement to MPs about Brexit today amid threat of a revolt.
First, we will hold a second meaningful vote by Tuesday the 12th of March at the latest. Second, if the government has not won a meaningful vote by Tuesday the 12th of March, then it will, in addition to its obligations to table a neutral amendable motion under Section 13 of the EU Withdrawal Act, table a motion to be voted on by Wednesday the 13th of March at the latest, asking this House if it supports leaving the EU without a withdrawal agreement and a framework for a future relationship on the 29th of March. So the United Kingdom will only leave without a deal on the 29th of March if there is explicit consent in the House for that outcome. Third, if the House, having rejected leaving with the deal negotiated with the EU, then rejects leaving on the 29th of March without a withdrawal agreement and future framework, the government will, on the 14th of March, bring forward a motion on whether Parliament wants to seek a short, limited extension to Article 50.
And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and Bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.